Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet. It is I, your fearless guide on this path, Kyle Evans, coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Welcome to the G.R.O.W Show, ladies and gentlemen. It is another week. Some of us are playing, some of us are paying, some of us are here to grind. It is July 4th week, Independence Week, middle of summer. Some people are checking out. Some people are rolling their sleeves up. I don't know where you are and where this finds you today, but just know that today we get to choose what we do, and that's a beautiful thing. This week, guys, because it is the 4th of July, we will be off on Friday, the 4th of July, naturally. And leading up to that, we got a little series for you. I'm starting to get into this chapter of G.R.O.W Show, dropping little series if you haven't been paying attention. This one is the Freedom Series in honor of the holiday on Friday. We are going to do a 4-part series called the Freedom Series, man. We're talking about independence and impact this week on the G.R.O.W Show to make sure that your daily checkup from the neck up is getting you moving in the right direction. The 4 parts that we're going to talk about. Part number 1, we're going to dive into today. It's the freedom from judgment. Can we get some more of that? Do we need some more of that? Judges say yes, we do. Part 2 is the freedom from comparison. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy. Part number 3 is the freedom to disrupt. Are we Netflix or are we Blockbuster out there, guys? And finally, on Thursday, our last part of the Freedom Series will be the freedom to recommit. That is your layout. That is your menu this week, guys. Let's dive in to our first segment, our first part in this Freedom Series today, the freedom from judgment. Now, part of this series is a book that I read that everyone has been talking about a lot of that I think is just really good. It's Mel Robbins. It's Let Them, right? And so that's kind of my theme, my angle here for this part. I think there's a lot of good nuggets in there. You know, when we think about sales, when we think about our business, guys, we don't need their permission. We need courage, right? I think a lot of us are walking around with invisible chains that don't belong to us. You know, sometimes we're not held back by skill. We're held back to by our addiction of being liked, our addiction of the perception of being liked. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, your fellow traveler on this road, I'm not talking at you, I'm talking with you. Are we addicted to being liked? Is that what's holding us back? You see, some of us are editing our message so much. We're softening our approach. We're hesitating to make the close or make the call. Not because we don't know what to say, but because we're afraid of what they'll think, or we're afraid of the outcome, or we're afraid of rejection. I coach around this all the time. More often than not, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people out there, you guys know what to say. You're adults. You've been talking your whole life. You know how to communicate to people, but we're scared sometimes to say the thing we know we should say. We're editing our message too much, right? We're being too soft. We're not closing when we should. Reminder, guys, a close is just a natural progression and an end cap to a great consultation, a great strategy session. Today, we're talking about independence and impact. Guys, freedom isn't just what we celebrate once a year, a couple times a year. Freedom is what we choose. Today, we're choosing to be free from judgment. Today, we are choosing to be free from judgment. I need you to call it out when you see it. Call it out when you feel it. Some of us have been told, oh, well, you know, you need to care more. You need to care more. What if you really need is to care less? Care less. I know that's a controversial statement. My email is probably buzzing from corporate right now. For real, though, think about it. Care less. Care less about their approval. Care less about what your competitors are posting. Less about being perfect, more about being present and persuasive and being you, your authentic self, throwing 7 different kinds of smoke. Guys, we can't close powerfully if we're too busy seeking permission. That's where we struggle. That's where we trip up. That's where we fall. How are we supposed to be the professional in the room and close the way we need to close if we're so consumed with not rocking the boat and being right and getting approval? We need to just let them while we lead. Let them while we lead. Here's the concept that I'm talking about, guys. Let them judge. Let them. Let them roll their eyes. Let them say no. That's not your business. Your business is making the call. Your business is refining your pitch. Your business is staying consistent. The haves and the have nots, the difference more often than not is consistency and courage. We overcomplicate this game. We overcomplicate this industry when usually it can just come down to consistency and courage. They unsubscribe from your email? Let them. Let them. Stop taking it so personally. Instead, ask yourself, how do I craft an email that no one would want to unsubscribe from? Is there enough value, enough joy, enough engagement, enough opportunity in here that no one would unsubscribe? And if they do, let them. They ghosted you after asking for a CMA? Let them. Here's a wild thought, like wild thought on a Monday. What if instead of they ghosted you because you suck, you're not enough, they don't like you, maybe, just maybe, they're good with where they're at, right? Maybe, just maybe, it's actually not the right time. Maybe, just maybe, they like their house and they want to stay there. Wild thought, right? We take no's and rejection so personally. They laughed at your reel on social media. They laughed at something you posted. Someone gave you some guff about it. One of your friends roasted you or trolled you. Let them. Let them. So what? Guys, high school is over. Some of us, high school's been over for a long time, but we're still playing by those rules. The most dangerous thing that you can do as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, as a CEO is shrink yourself, your dreams, and your goals to avoid judgment. The people you're trying not to offend, those aren't your people anyway. Those aren't the clients you're looking for. But the ones you're looking for can't be found because you keep shrinking yourself for the ones that'll never be your people. Your clarity gets clouded the second you start bending for approval. That's why your conversions stall. That's why your conversions are stalling. Because you're bending too much for approval. Today, I want you to reach out. 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people if you want the bonus round. At least 3, though. I want you to reach out to a minimum of 3 people that you've been avoiding. The high risk calls, right? High risk. You know the ones. You know them. You know them. I don't even have to say it. You at least know one just hearing this conversation. The people who might reject you, right? The people who might talk about you behind your back. The people who might make fun of you. Do it anyway. Not because they won't judge you, but because you're free from it now. You're choosing to be free from it. You're choosing to put that load down and not care about it. Because the truth is, for every one that will judge you, there's one that won't. For every one that will make fun of you, there's one that wants your service. For every one that does not want to work with you, there's one that has been looking for someone just like you. Let them judge. Make those 3, 5, 10 impact calls today, the ones you've been avoiding. Remember, not because they won't judge you, but because we're choosing to be free from it. We're choosing to let it go. Well, we're thinking about the tactics around this, right? I don't just want to send you out there blindly, although that could work too. Here's a framework, an idea that you could possibly use if you decided to answer this challenge, you decided to answer this call. They might judge it, they might ignore it. Guess what? They're allowed to. They're free too. They're allowed to. That has nothing to do with your duty to show up consistently. That has nothing to do with your duty to make the calls. That has nothing to do with your duty to show up, dust off, and go again, to dig through the haystack, to find the needle, to find the gold. That's our duty. One of the best things about this industry is people are transacting their homes, which is one of the biggest financial investments most people will make. A lot of money at stake, chance to make a ton of money in this business. The worst thing about this business is people are transacting their homes. And a lot of times people stay in their homes for a lot of time. And so we take those no's or not right nows like an affront on who we are. When I'm saying this out loud, I'm just thinking about myself and I'm thinking about all the times that I've played small or less than or not made the call because of risk of judgment or shame. And now sitting on the other side of that of caring less, it's just funny to me and kind of sad how often I did that. How often I said no to myself, said no to my dreams, said no to what could be because I was worried about fear, rejection, shame. And then I understood that the sun shines despite what the shadow thinks. It's that simple, and yet it's that hard. So if you're looking for a framework, if you're looking for something to say, it might sound like this. Hey, Bill, thought about you today because I'm working with a few people pretty much in your exact same situation. Big life change, high equity, wondering if now is the time. You crossed my mind, and I wouldn't be doing my job as your agent if I didn't reach out. By the way, that's an assumptive close because whether I'm their agent currently or not, I'm still going to say that because I want to bring them along the path, along the idea, along the manifestation that they are working with me, that I am their agent. Hey, Bill, thought about you today because I'm actually working with people who are pretty much in your exact same situation, big life change, high equity, wondering if now's the time. You crossed my mind, and I would be doing you a disservice. I wouldn't be doing my job as your real estate agent if I didn't reach out. I want you to be bold. I want you to be direct. I don't want you to have an apology. Is now a good time to talk? Stop lowering your status in the client's mind. So, number one, we got to use frameworks and we got to reach out. Number two, another idea that you can use to help tactically knock this out in your day is having a rejection reset protocol. So, what I mean by that is every no gets a 30-second, 15, 20-second post-mortem. Then it's gone. Then it's out of your energy. It's out of your space. What I mean by that, and so this is the caveat, the fine line of freedom from judgment. What I'm not telling you to do is I'm not saying that you shouldn't accept feedback. I'm not saying that you shouldn't continually get better based on feedback, based on reviews. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying letting the judgment and the rejection hold you back. So when I say do a rejection reset in that post-mortem, number one, it's, hey, I released the judgment from myself. Number two, ask yourself, was I clear in my messaging? Was I confident enough? Did my tonality and energy show what I was looking to do? Did I bring value? Like, run that track back real quick. If the answer is yes, if you did say the right thing, if you were confident, if you did bring the right energy, then move on. If you can say yes, if your side of the street is clean, then move on. Let the no go. Now, here's the thing. If you ask those questions, was I clear, confident, messaging right? And the answer is no, then tweak it and then refire. That's it. That's all it is. 30-second postmortem, quick checkup, check in, inspecting what I expect. It's that simple. The last one, power questions. This is what I want to ask. I want you to ask of yourself. And here's a banger. What are you not doing right now because you're afraid of what someone might say? What are you not doing right now because you're afraid of what someone might say? The next power question for you this morning. Who do you still think needs to approve of you before you go all in? You want a recalibration? You want a reset? You want a dose of truth? Ask yourself that question. And not flippantly either, not in passing. I want you to literally anchor down and ask yourself, who do you think still needs to approve of you before you give yourself permission to go all in? Who is this approval? Who is this person of judgment that you need a yes from before you finally decide to play 100%, before you finally decide to go all in, before you finally decide to give it everything you got? Who is this mysterious person? Who is this Wizard of Oz behind the curtain that you need this approval from before you fight for yourself? Ask yourself that question and be honest, because honesty is the fertile soil in which we grow. The last power question I think you should think about: what pitch or offer have you watered down to feel safer? What pitch or offer are you watering down to feel safer? Success is simple, not easy. And if we're talking tactically about the freedom of judgment, having a framework to make the calls, these 3, 5, 10 high impact calls that we haven't been having a rejection reset protocol. Hey, what went well? What can I change? How did it go? Then asking yourself those deep questions is a great way to start moving and putting down the yoke, the burden of judgment, having freedom from it today on this Independence Week. We choose impact. We choose to get rid of the invisible change we have let hold us back for far too long. Judgment doesn't stop you in itself. Judgment doesn't stop you. Your obsession with it does. Today, you're free from it, should you choose. You weren't put on the planet to be liked and make sure everyone likes you. You were put here to be useful. You were put here to serve, to be a light, to lead, to do something, sell something, make something, create something that can change lives. And if someone judges you for doing that, let them. Let them. Because it says nothing about you and everything about them. What is it that you need freedom from today? What is it that you need freedom from this week? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been part 1 of our Freedom series for our Independence Week. I am Coach Kyle Evans, and I am telling you to put the judgment down. Today, we are free from it. Tomorrow, we are working on the freedom from comparison. Love you, mean it. Can't wait to join you bright and early again Tuesday morning. Coach Kyle Evans, out.